Good morning everyone. So this is the last class of the chapter 5, separation of substances, and today we are going to study about the solutions. So solution is the mixture of solid dissolved in liquid. For example, if you dissolve the sugar and water, then it will become sugar solution. In the same way, if you are dissolving the salt in the water, then it will become the salt solution. The other examples can include the mixture of lemon and water, then it will become a solution. So this is how we define solution. Now solution is containing two types of things. Okay, so first thing is the amount which is present in small quantity. So in the sugar solution, what is present in the small quantity? Sugar or water? What is present in the small quantity? Obviously, sugar is present in the smaller quantity in comparison to the water. That is why sugar here will be called the solute. So how can we define solute? Solute is the part of the solution which is present in the smaller amount in the solution. So this is why in this sugar solution, sugar is the solute. On the other hand, the quantity, the thing, the material which is present in larger quantity. For example, in this sugar solution, water is present in larger quantity. That is why water is called the solvent. So we can define solvent as that part of the solution which is present in larger amount. So in this sugar solution, water is present in the larger amount. Generally, whenever we have the solution, so it is many times, most of the times, the water is present in the larger amounts. That's why water is mostly the solvent. Water will work as a solvent in most of the cases, and there can be the other solute which is dissolved in water, for example sugar, salt, or any other type of material. Now we got to know the meaning of solute and solvent. Now we have two types of solutions. We can categorize solutions in two parts. The first one are the saturated solutions and the other one are the unsaturated solutions. So saturated solutions are the solutions in which no more solute can be dissolved. Okay. So let us take a sugar solution. We have taken the example of sugar solution. So you see that whenever you try to dissolve sugar in water, we keep on stirring the water, and after some time, say like 3 or 5 minutes, the sugar gets dissolved in water. You have tried this in your solubility test also, the activity which you had performed. So the sugar gets dissolved in it after some time. But what will happen if after the dissolving of sugar you add more sugar? Okay, and after adding more sugar and then stirring it, it will again get dissolved. The sugar will get dissolved again. So you keep on adding the sugar again and again and again. Then there will come one time when no more sugar will be able to get dissolved in that water. At that time, that solution will be called the saturated solution. So saturated solutions are the solutions in which no more solute can be dissolved anymore. For example, here you can see we have the normal room temperature. We have not increased the temperature. There is a normal room temperature, and we keep on adding the sugar in the water as much amount as we want. But after some time, what will happen? No more amount of sugar will be dissolved in it, even after the rapid stirring. Despite the rapid stirring, no more sugar will be dissolved in it. At that moment, that solution will be called the saturated solution. Until then, it was called the unsaturated solution. Unsaturated means in which more amount of solute can be dissolved again and again. But at the time when no more solute can be dissolved, at that time it will be called the saturated solution. So this is the difference between saturated and unsaturated solution. For a quick revision, I will make you again revise it. So the unsaturated solutions are the solutions in which we can add more amount of solute, okay, and we keep on stirring the solution and the amount of solute gets dissolved in it. But at a moment no more solute will be dissolved in it, and at that time that solution will be called the saturated solution. Now there are some questions on the basis of whatever we have studied till now. This is a quiz, and before listening to my answers you have to think about it yourself. So the first one is substances present in lesser amount in solution is called. So I have made you understand about two types of substances. First one was the solute and the other one was the solvent. So solute is the amount, is the substance which is present in lesser amount. So its answer will be solute. Second one, the solution in which the solvent is water is called an, okay, this one you have to, this one also you have to remember. Any solution, we have many types of solutions, but any solution in which the solvent is water, so that solution will be known as the aqueous solution. Aqueous means water, having water. So any solution having the solvent as water, that will be called the aqueous solution. The third one is a solution in which more solute can be dissolved at a certain temperature is called an, which type of solution? So the solution will be called an unsaturated solution. Unsaturated, why? Because it has said that in which more solute can be dissolved. It's not saying cannot be dissolved. So that is why this will be known as unsaturated solution. If it had asked that a solution in which more solute cannot, if here instead of can there, if there would be cannot, then if there were cannot in place of the can, then the answer would be saturated solution in which no more solute can be dissolved. So this was all about the solution and its components. Now we are going to study the separation of substances using various methods. Till now we have studied many methods of separation, including the separation of solid from solid and the separation of solid from liquid. But what if any mixture contains more than two components? Okay, for example, here I have taken the sand, salt and iron fillings in a single mixture. I have taken sand, salt and iron fillings. This is a mixture of three components, and you have to separate all the three components individually. You have to separate all of them. So in this case, what will be done? What will you think that how can we separate all of these? So in this case we will have to use various methods. That is why the topic of this one is containing the word various. Here you can see separation of substances using various methods. So in this type of mixture we have to use various methods. Not only one method is sufficient for this type of separation. We will have to use various methods, more than one method we are going to use. So first of all I want to separate the iron fillings. So for the separation of iron fillings and every magnetic material, for example iron, cobalt, nickel, I have told you any mixture containing these types of magnetic materials, then you are going to use the magnetic separation to separate the iron fillings. Okay. So after undergoing the magnetic separation, the iron fillings will be separated, and after that we will be having only sand and salt in that mixture. So in the first step we have removed the iron fillings, then we will proceed to the next step. After that we are going to add water in the mixture. In the mixture of sand and salt we have added the water also. After adding water, the next method of separation we are going to use is the filtration method. and for this filtration method we are going to use for the filtration of what? For the separation of what? So, it is obvious we are going to use this method for the separation of sand after using the sieve. Okay. After using the sieve, the sand will be remaining on the sieve and all the extra material will come through that. Now, what will happen? The sand we have separated. Now, only the salt is remaining in the solution. Salt plus water, because we had added the water in the second step. Now, here salt and water are remaining. Now, salt and water we have already studied how can we separate the salt and water. So, we had studied about the method of separation which is known as evaporation. So, in this part we are going to, in the third step we are going to use the evaporation method to separate the salt from the water, because what will happen that after using the evaporation all the water vaporizes. We will keep heating up the water, we will keep boiling it, and after a certain moment what will happen, all the water gets vaporized and only the salt is remaining at the bottom of the container, whatever container you have taken. So, only salt will be remaining at the bottom of the container, this is remaining. Okay. So, this type of you can come through in your daily life, this type of problem where you have to separate these type of substances. So, you just have to think a little bit about it. You have to implement and think about all the methods of separation whatever you have studied till now. So, out of those all the methods you will get to understand, you will sort out something, you will sort out some of the methods by which you can separate that mixture into various components. So, your chapter has been completed. In the next class we are going to do a quick revision, and after that we'll start the exercises of this chapter.